Hi everyone, it's me. My name is Alanna and I'm a Canadian, but I have been living here in the UK for the last 8 years. Now, 1 year ago, I had laser eye surgery here in England and I want to talk about it. So grab a seat, put your feet up, get cozy. I've got my morning coffee. I have some bedhead situation happening up here. Let's go ahead and ignore that. But I want to share all of the details of what it's been like having laser eye surgery 1 year from now. In the past. It's been a year. So whether you are interested in getting it yourself or maybe you're just curious, I get it. Let's share all the gruesome details. Side note, it's not gruesome, okay? So don't worry. But I did notice when I was doing research for myself that there weren't a lot of videos sort of 1 year on. It was a lot of videos of like, I just had it, but I wanted to know like long term, what are we working with? So have a seat. Let's share all of the ins and outs, the anxiety, the crusty eyelashes, and the new vision. And since we are sharing so much about ourselves today, did you know I've never met a cheese I didn't like? That's true. And with that wonderful segue into talking about food, today's video is sponsored by HelloFresh. I find HelloFresh really useful. I enjoy using it. That's why I like working with them. They've sponsored this video and they've given us an exclusive deal. Alanna editing this video, go ahead and put the QR code here. So if you want to scan the QR code or click my link in the description, I have a unique code. The code is Unique Alanna. Make sure you spell that right. A-L-A-N-N-A. I've written the deal down because it's absolutely massive. You get 60% off your first box, 20% off the next 2 months, and free dessert for life. So whether you want to click the link in the description or scan the QR code, HelloFresh, very cool, love to see it. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But first up, eyes. And lasering my eyeballs. Let's try and make this video not a million years long and let's do some rapid fire details. So first up, laser eye surgery is not permanent, okay? Not permanent. I did a video when I first had surgery and I mentioned, of course, it's not permanent. It didn't matter. I got so many emails and comments and DMs and stuff and people are like, what a waste of money, you're stupid, don't you know it's not permanent? Yes, it's not permanent. So I'm gonna put that right here. Laser eye surgery is not permanent. Only you can decide if this surgery is worth it for you, all right? But your eyes are organic material, right? They will degrade as you age. That's just life. You're not gonna get bionic eyeballs, all right? It's not permanent. So for me personally, I was wearing glasses 24/7. My prescription was like a -3, -3.5. I couldn't function without glasses. So the only time I took them off was to sleep and to shower, and God forbid I take them off and I put them somewhere, I would really struggle finding them. So not pleasant. I had 2 initial consultations and I would 100% recommend you get at least 2 initial consultations. My first one was a free one with Vision Express. Hold up, literally no. I'm so sorry. I say Vision Express when referring to the second like laser eye place. It's literally not called that. It's called Optical Express. I know that is so annoying. If you're actually interested in getting initial consultations, I'll put all the proper links down below. But just a heads up, every time I say Vision Express, no, that's not right. It's Optical Express. They're a big chain across the UK. It's a big chain here in the UK. And my second one was a paid consultation with London Vision Clinic. Now, if you go with London Vision, the cost of your assessment goes towards the final cost. If you decide that you don't want to go for them, they'll refund you half. If you decide, or they decide that you're not eligible, you'll get all your money back. So just putting that out there. I decided to go with London Vision Clinic. They have 1 clinic on Harley Street. There's loads of reasons why, but basically I felt better about it. I didn't feel pressured like I did at Vision Clinic or Vision Express, the chain. I just felt better. I liked that there was only 1 clinic. It was a specialized clinic. This is what they did. It cost £5,500. That sucks, but that's the reality of the situation. That covers everything. So it was £500 for the initial consultation, and then the remaining £5,000 for everything. That included the surgery, that included all of the aftercare, all of the appointments, all of the testing, all of it. And that is the same price for everyone. Here's a hot little tidbit. A lot of laser eye places in the UK, especially the chains, they will charge you based on your prescription. So the worse the prescription, they charge you more. Why? Not totally certain, because it is a laser and they're just plugging in numbers into the laser, but what do I know? For comparison, Vision Express, the chain, was gonna charge me, I think it was $4,700, I wanna say. So kind of comparable, cheaper. But it does depend on your prescription. With London Vision, it is a set price. So £5,500, whether your eyes are different or not. I think the only change in price is if you have an extreme case, like a specialty case, but for most people, it's the same. And this is not me like being sponsored or paid by London Vision, of course. I paid it myself. All right, so this is my personal opinion. There's one quick rapid fire, although this isn't very rapid. One thing I do want to mention is we're talking about two different types of laser eye. Let me put this down. Most places in the UK, you're gonna see LASIK. This is your very popular type of laser eye. It's where they slice, here we go, trigger warning. They slice a flap in your eye, they open the flap and they do the lasery bits, and then they close the flap. When you wake up, you don't wake up, you're awake the whole time. When you open your eyes afterwards, you're like, oh my God, I can see almost immediately. But you do have a flap, which can be traumatized. It could, you know, rubbing and stuff is a big no-no. And you also have a risk of dry eyes. Now, anytime you do surgery with your eyes, dry eyes is like the big thing, right? This other type of surgery is called SMILE. Now, hot tip, important to note, most clinics do not offer this. It's more specialized or newer, if we can say. But London Vision Clinic that I went to does offer it. SMILE is done through a keyhole. So they do a keyhole in your eye and they do the lasery bits and they come out. You don't see great right away. The downside is that there's a longer recovery time with SMILE, but there is a better chance that you will have less dry eye. So two different types of laser eye. Not all places offer them. London Vision does. They are both the same price. So when I met with my surgeon, I was approved for both, and we discussed the pros and cons for each of them. And I decided that I would like to do SMILE. I'm okay with not having great vision right away, but I would like to not have as much or as severe dry eyes if at all possible. But they were the same price. I was approved for both, and I spoke with my surgeon on which one would be better for me. All right, let's move into the surgery. I'm gonna start this by saying this was one of the scariest things I have ever done, and it's one of those things where the buildup is so much worse than the actual thing. And I know everybody says that, but honestly, that was my experience. Now, I went into excruciating detail about my surgery in my original video, which I'll link at the end of this if you want to go back and I walk you through step by step. But basically, here's the broad strokes. I would say that I was probably in the surgery room less than 10 minutes. You go in and they check your eyes, they put you on the gurney. They make you, at least at London Vision, they make you very comfortable. I had a weighted blanket, I had a pillow under my legs, they gave me a little stuffed animal. It was very cozy, it was very comfortable. The amount of time that you are actually underneath the laser, they try to keep it as short as possible because obviously it is scary. But huge shout out to my surgeon. He spoke the entire time, and he's obviously doing that for a very particular reason. Imagine you're laying there, I can't see it because I don't have my glasses on, and there's these lights and you're like, what do I do? What's happening? You kind of start to freak out. So he was speaking the entire time, and it was basically like, okay, Alanna, you're gonna see a yellow light. Just look at the yellow light. It might move around, that's okay. Just look straight ahead as best you can. Now you're gonna feel a little bit of pressure. That's great, you're doing great. We're already halfway through this eye, you're doing fabulous. Just keep looking straight ahead. You're gonna see some blue flashing, that's okay. Just keep looking straight ahead. Wow, Alanna, you're doing a great job. And honestly, each eye was about 60 seconds. And they were done one right after the other. There was no pain. There was no discomfort. The fear is real. The fear is very real, and I was fearful. But they are professionals. I felt safe. I felt in good hands. I felt like they weren't just trying to rush me out the door. I felt like I was going to be taken care of. It was very, very quick. Once that was done, they then take you to like a sort of hangout room. So they had got my partner, he was in there. It was like a private room. I could sit in the dark. They had like spa music on, so it's very calming. And I could sit in there and I could kind of come down from the adrenaline, because the adrenaline is high. So you sit in there for a little bit. A woman came in and she gave me some more eye drops, and you could kind of like come down a little bit. Just 10 minutes, I think we were sat in there, just the aftermath of everything. The surgeon came in and spoke. I don't even really remember what he said, because I was just out of it. Not out of it because they drug you. They don't drug you. You are very much awake. You need to be awake, which sucks. But overall, the surgery is very, very simple. It's just frightening. And yeah. What can you do about that, right? Now let's talk about the first week. So after the surgery, we stayed in a hotel in London. Would 100% recommend that, because you do have to go back for a 24-hour update. They had a look at my eyes. They were very happy. They said I was actually like quicker in the progression of the de-swelling. That was a weird way of saying. My swelling was coming down faster than most people. Maybe because I was kind of on the younger side in terms of the other people in the clinic at the same time. I don't know how many 30-year-olds are getting the surgery, but that was me. The 24-hour appointment was fine. They just signed you off, said, okay, you're good to go. You're good to go home. You are good to go back to work. So we come back into Kent, we come home, and we have the first week. Now, I'm not going to lie. The first week was the worst part of this whole thing. Aside from the fear of the actual surgery, the first week was not my favorite. A lot of people ask when you woke up on the first full day, could you see? Kind of. With Smile, this is very different. It was very misty. It was very foggy. Now, normally without my glasses, I couldn't see anything anyway. So it wasn't like hugely different from walking around without glasses, although it was slightly clearer. But it was misty. It was foggy. It wasn't great vision. I also couldn't read up close. So I couldn't work on my computer and I couldn't look at my phone. And I expected that. But this actually lasted for about 4 or 5 days, which I wasn't expecting it to be that long. So I'm trying to take it easy. You know, I'm sitting in a fairly dark room because light was a little bit sensitive. So I'm in a kind of a dark room, maybe watching TV or watching movies. By the 4th day, I still couldn't comfortably look at my laptop, and that started to really freak me out. And I was like, oh my God, this is it. I'm gonna be one of those people that goes blind, because there is percentages of risk. And those percentages exist because real people have negative reactions to the surgery, right? And I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna be one of them. I was like, it's the end. I'm never gonna see again. And then on the 5th day, I woke up and it was a 180. My vision was great. The mistiness was almost completely gone. And I could read my computer, I could read my laptop and my phone up close. So for me, for Smile, just be aware. And they do tell you it takes longer recovery time than LASIK. LASIK is like you get it done and wow, you can see. But you just have to give yourself time if you are doing this Smile version. The thing that I didn't like about this week is I had to sleep with a plastic eye mask every night. So obviously you don't accidentally hurt your eyes. I don't sleep on my back. So you sat on your back with these big plastic things, and it didn't really quite fit the shape of my head. So by the end of the week, I had this huge divot in my nose from like where it was sitting. Not pleasant. So I wasn't getting the greatest sleep, which made me more miserable to be around. And then on top of that, you have to take loads of eye drops. This week is like really important and they're very timed. So there are 2 different types of medical eye drops, like medicated eye drops. You take 4 times a day each. And then on top of that, you take a hydrating eye drop 4 times a day. Obviously in both eyes. So it's a lot of eye drops. And on top of that, you're not supposed to get water in your eyes. because it can have like bacteria and stuff in it. So showering is difficult, and also getting my eyelashes clean, I couldn't really figure that out. So you're putting in these medicated eye drops just day in, day out, you know, 4 times a day, so many drops, and my eyelashes were rock hard. They were so crusty, and I didn't want to wash them because I didn't want to get water in my eye. And I was really paranoid about the water in the eye situation, so I was really strict about it. So the constant eye drops, the first 4 days of not being able to see properly freaked me out, and not sleeping well was not great. So this first week was really probably the worst of all of it, is just this week. And I would say, if you are getting the Smile treatment like me, expect to take time off of work, at least at the beginning, right? Like, I couldn't see my laptop, and if you're a laptop worker, you're likely not going to be able to work. So just be aware. I kind of wish I maybe fully understood that it was going to take that long. They did tell me, but I guess I kind of thought, oh, you know, less than that. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, this first week was the worst of it all. Okay, so let's talk about the first month. So after that first week, I could stop the medicated eye drops, but for the first month, I'm taking hydrating eye drops 4 times a day, every day, whether I feel like I need them or not. That was just the requirement. So during this time, I wasn't doing anything different. The medicated eye drops had stopped. I didn't need to sleep with the eye mask. I could shower normally. I was still trying to be very cautious around my eyes. So when I was in the shower, I wasn't like scrubbing my face and my eyes. I was just trying to be mindful and very gentle. So at the end of the month, I had my 30-day checkup. So I went back to London. They checked out my eyes. They were happy with my progress. They said I did not need to come back again until my 1-year anniversary. Signed me off, gave me some extra eye drops, and I was on my way. Hey guys, who's hungry? Like I mentioned earlier, this video is sponsored by HelloFresh. Now, I don't know about you, but this whole summer has been great, but chaotic. And to be completely honest, I'm really looking forward to getting back into my normal routine, getting back to work, making content and all that fun stuff. And HelloFresh makes all of that so simple. After a busy work day, I don't really have the mental space to research a recipe, decide on something, go to the shop, buy all the bits. It's not gonna happen. I wanna eat something interesting and healthy, but on those days, it's just not gonna happen. Enter HelloFresh. HelloFresh makes cooking, honestly, as simple as humanly possible. You get these beautiful recipe cards with photos, with instructions. It's all unbelievably clear. They give you all the bits that you need, and off you go. You're gonna have a great meal. If you would like to give HelloFresh a try yourself, you can scan my QR code. How fun, how simple. Like HelloFresh. Or as always, I have a link in my description. You can click my link and use unique Alanna as my personal code. What are you gonna get? You're gonna get a lot. 60% off your first box, 20% off your next 2 months, and free dessert for life. Yes, that's a lot. HelloFresh makes cooking simple, accessible, even if you don't really feel that confident in the kitchen. Photos, instructions, all of it is just crazy simple, and you end up with a meal that is actually good. We did these pulled beef bao buns. You make some wedges, pickled onion, coleslaw, delicious, super easy. This is not something that I would normally make just on my own, but with these instructions, with all the ingredients, piece of cake. I also did a salad. So I've been doing HelloFresh for a long time. I've never picked a salad option because you don't make friends with salad, but I need to eat more vegetables. So I was like, you know what? Let's do a salad. I went with this Mediterranean style avocado sunshine salad. Unbelievably good. It had so many good things in it. That's the thing, right? Salad's gotta have a lot of stuff in it, otherwise I'm so bored. This was really, really good. I was shocked. And finally, I love tray bakes because they're simple, they're easy, they're tasty. I did this one, the pesto chicken tray bake with garlic, rice, roasted peppers, and baby plum tomatoes. You put most of it on a tray all together in the oven. So even though this recipe says it takes 35 minutes, most of that is just cooking it in the oven. And I'm off doing my own little thing. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, cheers to HelloFresh. Hope you can make use of our exclusive deal. let's get back to my video. Moving right along to the first few months. Now, I've been writing down stuff over this last year of what it was like in the early first few, let's say month 2 to month 4, that kind of early stage. So after my 30-day appointment, they said I don't need to take the eye drops 4 times a day anymore. I could take them as and when I needed, but if I needed them, to take them. You know, sometimes when you get like a headache and you're like, oh, I'm not gonna take any painkillers, I'm just gonna suffer through it, I'm a big girl. No. Don't do that. My optometrist guy was like, if your eyes are dry, use the eye drops. Continuing them to stay dry will not help you. Like, just take the eye drops. So what I started to do was I had my eye drops beside my bed. So on my bedside table every morning, because I found taking eye drops while you're laying down to be simple. It's a bit easier. You don't miss, I don't know. It worked out for me. So when I would wake up, I would take the eye drops while I was laying in bed, and then I'd be good to go for the rest of the day. Never really noticed any dryness, really. There was a couple of times early on where if I had a really heavy computer day, and then it was one of the days that I live stream on Twitch, so I'm live streaming at night, it was just a lot of screens. Kind of by the end of the night, my eyes felt like a little bit sticky, so I would take the eye drops again and I'd be fine. But it wasn't every day, it was really just on those really heavy screen days. Anyway, I'm doing the bed thing every morning, eye drops while I'm laying there and I get up. And then I would say month 3 post-surgery, the eye drops ran out. So I was like, right, I gotta remember to get my other eye drops and put them beside my bed. But I forgot, because of course I did. And then like 2 weeks later, I realized that I had not taken any eye drops and I didn't need to. And that was a really great realization. So I didn't bother taking them every morning anymore because I obviously didn't seem to need them. I did notice as the weather started getting warmer and we started sleeping with a fan on at night, those days I felt like my eyes were sticky when I woke up, just like the dryness from the fan. So I'd do an eye drop and I'd be fine. Or on like really heavy screen days, my eyes might feel a bit sticky and I'd do an eye drop and I'd be fine. I did notice, I would say month 3 or ish around there, post-surgery, we went to a party and I drank too much. Of course I did. And let me tell you, when I woke up the next day, my eyes were so sticky. It was unbelievable. Alcohol dehydrates your body and it dehydrates your eyeballs. So that was like the most uncomfortable they were ever. This whole experience was being hungover and needing my eye drops. And to be honest, I would say within this period, the first few months, maybe as early as the 2nd month post-surgery, I forgot what it was like to wear glasses, which is a very weird feeling. If you are a glasses wearer, it's weird. It's wild how quickly it becomes normal and natural. It was just like, this is how I can see now. And I couldn't even remember what my vision was like pre-surgery. It happened very quickly. I'd say within the 2nd month post-surgery, this life felt normal, which is just unbelievable. Now let's talk about after a year. So near the end of my full year experience and currently, what's the deal? What's the situation? Maybe once a month I'd use the eye drops, maybe even less than that. It's very, very infrequent. But overall, I didn't notice anything else. What a relief. Now at the time of filming this, I haven't had my 12-year appointment. I didn't realize my final checkup is like the day before this video is due to be posted. So I wanted to have time to film and edit this stuff. But Alanna from the future, who's just been to her 12-month checkup, her sign off, she's gonna hop in here and tell you what's up.
Hey guys, Alanna here. I don't know if you can hear me. I don't know if you can see. Just got absolutely rained on. So I'm in London. I'm getting ready to go back home into Kent. You hear that? Maybe I shouldn't film it in here. Anyway, so the appointment was maybe 30 minutes. I did some of the machine testing where they look at like the health of your eye. Then I met with the actual doctor and she did some testing and she said I was great. So that's good. Interestingly, I can see better than my vision was with my glasses, which is wild. So my unaided eyes are better than what my glasses could get me. Insane. Anyway, I'm absolutely soaked. I need to get home. And overall, I'm really excited and I'm happy. And I'm soaked. My jeans are soaked. So, anyway, back to dry Alanna at home.
Let's talk about some side effects. I'll put chapters in this video so people can jump around if there's something that's interesting to you particularly. Let's talk about side effects. Now, dryness. Dry eye is the big one. You will have dry eye when you mess with your eyeballs, all right? It's just how bad is it going to be? For me, the dry eye, I would say like 1 out of 10. 10 being unbearable. I really don't notice it. Can I even say 0? I might even say 0. That might be cheating. The dry eye for me is so minimal. Now, is that because of me or is that because I chose Smile instead of LASIK? I don't know. All I can say is the dry eye is so minimal. The only time I notice it are hardcore screen days, which I actually don't notice it much anymore, maybe in the early days. Sleeping with a fan on or the aircon on was really only in the early days, maybe sometimes now, but not really. And if you drink a lot, you are dehydrating your body, you're gonna dehydrate your eyes, you're gonna notice it. Saying that though, my partner and I recently went to Portugal for a friend's wedding, and you're eating and drinking and you know your schedule's all messed up. And I actually didn't need my eye drops at all while we were away. Even though I was drinking more than normal and you know, you're partying with everybody, I actually didn't notice it at all. Now, pain as a side effect. I've never had pain. The surgery's not painful. The recoup kind of, what do you call that? Post-op time is not painful. I would say uncomfortable might be the better word. That first week was really the only time that I was uncomfortable, and that was because my eyelashes were gross. I couldn't shower like I normally would, so I felt kind of gross. I wasn't sleeping very well because of the plastic mask. So there's kind of like a lot of things happening at once that were making me miserable to be around. But it was never painful. I would just say that first week was uncomfortable. And what about my actual vision? Well, how do I even describe vision to someone who maybe has never had poor vision? In the before times, I couldn't exist without my glasses. Now, I have no problems. I will say it's also helpful to maybe check in with your standards. This is not a miracle, right? Like your vision will not be perfect. It will be better. Fingers crossed, unless you're one of those unlucky ones. And I think I largely forgot how bad my eyes were before, because now in the new times, my vision is great. I don't have to wear glasses at all for reading, for distance, for mid distance. I can just exist and I don't have to worry about it. And if you've never worn glasses permanently, like full time, it's very hard to explain what that's like. Now, while we're here, I would also like to share my personal laser eye tips. I am not a professional, but I've been through it. And these are some things that I would recommend. Have at least one initial consultation. Now, it doesn't need to be the 2 people that I mentioned, but have at least 2. Did I say at least 1? That's not what I meant. I meant have at least 2. The cheaper option isn't always in your best interest, so do your research. You will have some level of dry eyes as part of this surgery, part of this process. That's just the reality, so you need to set reasonable expectations. Now, for me, my dry eye is so much less than I thought it would be. I thought I would be taking eye drops maybe a couple of times a week. Reality now at the 1-year mark, I might take eye drops once a month, but that doesn't mean you will be the same. In my case with the Smile surgery, the recovery time was longer than expected, especially not being able to see my computer for 5 days. So if you are able to take time off of work or work some sort of reduced schedule, if you're doing Smile, I would definitely recommend it. Also, set reasonable expectations for that first week. The first week for me was the worst. It was the grossest. It was the most uncomfortable. I started to panic. Maybe I made the wrong decision. You love to see it. So just understand that that first week might be a little bit tricky, might be a little bit tough. It was never painful. It was just uncomfortable. I guess we should leave this video with one final thought. Was it worth it? Do I regret it? Would I do it again? A lot of deep questions and questions I had before I started this surgery. Do I regret it? No, I don't regret it. Would I do it again? Yes. honestly in a heartbeat. I understand that it will not last forever. I am hopeful that it will last a while, especially that I am young, and I've got some time before my eyes hopefully degrade with age. I'm hopeful. My mom had LASIK, the very popular LASIK back in Canada, probably about 15 years ago. So she went without glasses for about 15 years. Now she's starting to notice that she's going to need some level of glasses, like for reading or distance, that kind of stuff. But also she's, 15 years older. Her eyes have aged. Sorry, Mom. But she had 15 years. Now, if I could have 15 years, that would be unbelievable and would be more than worth it. Even if I could have 10, to be completely honest. If I could have 10 years. Come back to me in 10 years and ask me if it was worth it. Overall, I do not regret it. I'm very happy with my experience with London Vision Clinic. Of course, I paid for this surgery. They did not pay for it. They don't know I'm making this video. Maybe they'll see it. I hope not, because that would be embarrassing. But I would recommend them. I felt very taken care of. I felt like they know what they're doing, right? And they take their time with you. I never felt like I was being rushed out the door. The fact that I could meet with my surgeon multiple times before my surgery, which is not always the case with some of the other clinics. I will say, one of the reasons I did not want to go with the London Vision, with Vision Express, the chain, was one of my questions was, who's going to be my surgeon? And they said, well, we won't really know. We have like surgeons come in and some do like Wednesdays and this guy might do the weekend. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that it was just like a carousel of surgeons coming in and coming out. Like they maybe had other jobs. That's what it felt like. Didn't like that at all. With London Vision, they only have so many surgeons. The surgeons work there. The surgeons are part of that clinic. That made me feel better. I felt very looked after. And really, I have no complaints. Now, if my vision degrades over the next year, I will have complaints. But as it stands, after 1 year of laser eye surgery, I am so happy being able to see unaided. Really difficult to explain. If you'd like to watch more, definitely check out this video. I filmed it, I think 12 or 13 days post laser eye surgery, and I walk you through the surgery itself step by step. Don't forget to check out HelloFresh, my link in the description. I hope you can make use of our exclusive deal. But thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, bye!